Dust moved slowly across the street like breath. The wind dragged it across boots and boards and bare skin. Sunlight burned white on the wood of the raised auction platform. 5 women stood in a line, ankles chained, wrists bound, skin dry and eyes blank. Each wore the same thing, the plain cloth, tightrope, no shoes. A big poster hung behind them. Choose any bride, free today only. The town had gathered, maybe 30 people, men in suspenders, boys with dirty faces, a woman with a baby turned away. One man spat at the ground. A figure appeared at the far end of the street, long coat torn at the cuffs, hat low, shadowing his face. He walked slow, boot after boot. The dust didn't touch him. This was Beau Creel. Beau stopped at the edge of the wooden platform. His eyes moved left to right, slow. The marshal stepped forward, smiling wide. "Step on up, cowboy," the marshal said. "Pick careful, we don't do exchanges." The marshal's badge was real but rusted. His voice held authority but not truth. He held a shotgun like a judge's gavel. Beau didn't look at him. He looked at the women. All of them looked away, except one. The 4th woman didn't lower her eyes. She stood straight, skin darker than the others, hair braided tight. Her chains clinked gently as the wind moved. She wore no fear. Beau raised one finger. "That one," he said. The crowd went silent. Even the wind paused. The woman did not flinch, her eyes did not blink. The chains at her wrists had carvings, spirals, symbols, small scratches like letters. The shackles looked more like something from ceremony than jail. Someone in the crowd whispered, "That's the Comanche girl." Another man added, "Witch." "Blood." Beau said nothing. He just stared. The marshal chuckled. "Your choice. May the Lord go with you." Beau nodded once. He stepped closer. He didn't smile. He didn't speak again. He reached into his coat and pulled out a small slip of paper, the proof of claim. The marshal signed it with a grin. As Beau turned to leave with her, the crowd parted. Not out of respect, out of distance, out of fear. She didn't limp. Her steps were even. Her eyes locked forward. Then she did something no one expected. She smiled, not wide, not soft. Just enough. She turned her head slightly, leaned closer to Beau Creel and whispered, "You chose wrong, cowboy." Beau Creel stood at the desk inside the sheriff's post. The marshal scrawled a name across the paper and stamped it with a cracked seal. Beau didn't look at it. Beau only looked at the chain that led back to the girl. Wren stood by the doorway, her ankles still bound, her wrists still chained. She did not ask for freedom. She did not speak. Beau signed the line, folded the paper, walked out without a word. The horses were waiting near the watering post. 2 animals, one tall and black, one brown with dust along the legs. Beau helped Wren mount. She moved like she already knew how. She rode behind him, hands still locked in iron. Beau rode straight. He did not look back. Wren sat tall, even with the chain. Her eyes watched the land. Her lips moved. No words came, only a low hum. Slow. Repeating. Beau's jaw clenched. He said nothing. A man near the store whispered, "That's the Comanche witch." Another hissed, "You'll be dead by sunrise." Beau Creel didn't answer. Beau pulled the reins. The horses turned down the road. The town fell behind. The desert opened in front. The wind came in waves. Warm, dry, full of dust. Beau's coat flapped. Once, then silence. Just hooves and humming. Beau Creel was a man used to silence. But Wren's quiet made the air feel heavier. The road curved past a dry ridge. Red rock, hard sun. No clouds, no mercy. Beau kept thinking of the photo in his coat. A folded war photo. It showed 2 young men in blue uniforms. One was Beau, the other was his brother. Both were smiling. The smile didn't last long. Beau left the war, left the army, left the graves. Beau was a deserter, a man no country wanted. Only ghosts followed Beau now. Wren kept humming. Beau didn't know the tune. It wasn't a song from anywhere he'd been. Then Wren stopped. Her voice broke through the quiet. "Matthew." Beau froze. His hand on the reins twitched. He turned his head halfway. "What did you say?" Wren didn't blink. She didn't look at Bo. "You shouldn't have touched me," Wren said. Bo didn't speak. His throat felt dry. Wren kept her eyes on the sun. The chain moved gently with the horse's steps. Bo looked down at his coat. The photo felt heavier. Inside the pocket, the name Matthew hit hard. That was his brother's name. Bo gripped the reins tighter. Sand shifted under the horse's feet. Wren said it again, quiet, cold, clear. "You shouldn't have touched me." Bo Creel built the fire slow. He used dry twigs, soft pine, and a match from a worn box. The flame caught fast, sparks rose into the dark sky. The stars above looked sharp and cold. Wren sat across from the fire. Her feet were tucked under her dress. Her hands still wore marks from the shackles. Red skin. Deep lines. Bo Creel had unlocked her wrists to let her eat. The chain now rested. Beside her boot, Bo Creel didn't say much. He passed her half a biscuit and a piece of dried meat. Wren took them. She chewed slow. Her eyes never left the fire. Bo reached into his coat. His fingers touched the folded photo. It was old and bent. The edges were soft. He pulled it out and stared. The photo showed two young men in uniform. One was Bo. The other was Matthew, Bo's younger brother. They stood side by side, smiling. That was before the war. Before everything burned. Bo looked across the fire. Wren was still watching the flames. Her eyes didn't blink. Bo placed the photo back in his coat. He covered it deep. He didn't want it touched. Wren leaned forward. Her hands moved close to the fire. Too close. Bo Creel frowned. "Careful," Bo said. "You'll burn." Wren didn't stop. Wren placed her fingers into the edge of the flame. The fire licked her skin. She didn't flinch. Her face stayed calm. Bo watched. Bo didn't speak. Wren pulled her hand back. No burns, no pain. Bo Creel grabbed his canteen. He uncapped it fast and took a long drink. Then he coughed. He bent over and spit. The taste was wrong. Bo looked down at the canteen. The liquid that spilled out was thick, red, like blood. Bo dropped it. His boot hit it. The canteen rolled and spilled again, but now the water looked clear. Bo rubbed his eyes. He reached down, picked up the canteen and shook it. Just water now, cold and clean. He looked at Wren. Wren hadn't moved. Wren still stared into the fire. Her fingers rested on her knees. Bo's pulse slowed, but not much. The stars above felt closer now. The fire crackled once, then again. Wren spoke, her voice low, flat, cold. "They're already coming." The night was still. The fire had died. Bo Creel slept light, coat over his chest, rifle across his lap. Wren sat a few feet away, arms wrapped around her knees. The sky was black. The moon hung thin and pale. Bo Creel stirred. A soft snap in the distance. Then silence. Then a scream. Not human. A sharp, rising howl. Bo Creel sat up fast. The second scream came from the ridge. An arrow struck the dirt, inches from his boot. "Move!" Bo yelled. Wren didn't flinch. Bo grabbed his rifle and yanked Wren down behind a pile of rocks. Dirt kicked up. Another arrow slammed into a tree trunk behind them. Figures moved in the dark. Fast, low, silent. Bo fired once. A spark lit the ridge. Shadows ducked. Bo reloaded. "Stay down!" Bo shouted. Wren stayed crouched, but her eyes didn't blink. Wren did not look scared. Bo fired again. A shape fell. Another rose behind it. The wind carried the sound of footfalls. Many feet, surrounding. Bo looked at Wren. "Behind the rocks," Bo said again. Wren stood up. Bo grabbed her arm. "What are you doing?" Wren stepped out from cover, slow, calm, chains still rattling at her ankles. "Wren, stop," Bo shouted. She walked forward, into the firelight, into the open, toward the shadows. Bo raised his rifle. A hand raised from the dark. Then another. Figures stepped out of the trees, 10 of them, maybe more. Faces painted with stripes. Red, black, white, eyes sharp. The warriors did not charge. They stopped. The warriors dropped to one knee, All of them. Bo's grip on the rifle tightened. His heart beat hard. One of the warriors stood and said something. In a language Creel didn't know, Wren answered. Wren, barefoot and still wrapped in dust, answered like a leader. Bo watched. The wind stopped. The trees held still. Creel raised his rifle. Wren raised her hand. The rope dug deep into Creel's wrists. He sat on the dirt, hands tied behind his back. Firelight danced on his face. The circle around him was tight. At least 15 warriors. All silent, all armed. The wind hissed through the tall grass, but no one moved. The sky above was full of stars, cold, watching. Creel shifted. His legs ached. His throat was dry. Sweat rolled down the back of his neck. He looked across the fire. Wren stood at the edge of the light. Her arms were free, her voice steady. She spoke in Comanche, calm, sharp. Every word landed like stone. One man spoke back, older, scars across his chest. A leader. The others nodded. Creel spoke loud. "I didn't know," Bo said. "I didn't know who she was." No one answered. Bo turned to Wren. "I didn't buy you to hurt you. I was—" Wren raised her hand. Creel went silent. Wren stepped forward. Her dress moved with the wind. Her feet were bare, her eyes fixed on Bo. She reached into a leather pouch at her waist. Wren pulled out a pendant. The carved bone pendant swung in her fingers, yellow-white, smooth. At the center, a spiral. Bo. Creel stared at the shape. The spiral was small, precise, familiar. Creel blinked. He saw it again, in his mind, on the folded photo he kept in his coat. The same spiral drawn in pencil on the back of the old war picture. His brother, Matthew, had drawn it during the war. A simple mark, a symbol of luck, he once said. Now, it was carved into bone. Hanging from Wren's hand, Bo's voice broke. "Where did you get that?" Wren didn't answer him. She turned toward the fire. She held the pendant up high so all could see. The warriors leaned in. Some nodded. One made a sound, not a word, more like a breath. Creel looked around the circle. Faces stared back, painted eyes, stone mouths. Bo lowered his head. Wren stepped. "Closer." "You carry the mark of a killer," Wren said. The fire burned lower. The warriors sat in a wide circle. Creel knelt in the center, still bound. His head hung low, his wrists were raw. His chest rose and fell in short, tight breaths. Wren stood beside the elder warrior. She didn't look at Bo. She looked at the others. She spoke in Comanche. Her tone was firm, calm, not pleading, not soft. The elder man asked a question. Wren nodded once. Her hand rested on a folded piece of paper at her waist. Bo lifted his head. Dust clung to his face. His voice was hoarse. "Why are you doing this?" Wren didn't answer him. Creel looked around the fire. The men held knives, bows, and stone faces. No one moved. Wren finally turned. She stepped toward Bo, her eyes locked on his. She reached into her pouch and pulled out the paper. It was old, edges worn, creased deep, yellow from age. Wren unfolded it slowly. "This letter," Wren said. "Your brother wrote it." Bo's body stiffened. Wren held it out, but not close, far enough for all to see. The signature at the bottom was still clear. Matthew Creel. Bo stared at the name. The lines of ink curved the way he remembered. Matthew's writing, fast and slanted. Bo spoke low. "Where did you get that?" Wren didn't blink. "He gave it to my sister." Bo's eyes narrowed. Wren said, "She kept it when he left. She kept it when they burned our home. She still keeps it now, because of the child." Bo's voice cracked. "What child?" Wren took a step closer. "Your brother left her with more than words." Bo sat frozen. The fire snapped beside him. "She had his child," Wren said. The warriors murmured. The elder spoke again, voice rising, but Wren raised her hand and answered fast. Bo couldn't follow the words, but he felt the shift, the tone, the weight. Wren turned back to Bo. "I came to the town on purpose," Wren said. "They did not capture me. I let them chain me. I waited for someone to pick me." Bo shook his head, weak. "No, I needed someone they'd listen to, Wren said. Someone who could be traded. Bo clenched his fists. You want to trade me, Wren said. Your life. For my sister's freedom. She's still in that settler outpost, still in chains. Bo's voice rose. You're using me. Wren leaned close. You came to claim, Wren said. Now you are the claimed. The night was thick with smoke and dust. Wren stood at the front of the ridge, bow in hand. The warriors crouched behind her, faces painted, eyes locked on the wooden outpost below. Bo Creel stood behind Wren, rifle loaded, nerves tight. The outpost sat in the valley, wrapped in high fences. One lantern glowed near the front gate. The rest of the buildings lay in shadow. Wren pointed. One of the warriors lit a fire arrow. It burned bright orange. He fired. The arrow arced through the air and hit the roof of a supply shed. The dry wood caught fast. Then 5 more arrows flew. Flames erupted along the wall. Yells rose from inside the outpost. Bo Creel ran with Wren down the slope. The gate stood open, 2 guards rushing out to put out the fire. The warriors charged behind Bo and Wren, quiet as wind, sharp as knives. Inside the yard, the chaos exploded. Horses kicked at fences. Buckets spilled. One guard turned, too late. Bo slammed into him, knocked him flat. The second guard drew a pistol. Bo ducked behind a barrel. The pistol fired once, missed. Bo rose and fired back. The shot dropped the man fast. Smoke curled around the buildings. The fire spread from the shed to the bunkhouse. Wren kicked open the storage room. Empty. She's not here. Wren shouted. Bo turned toward the jail block. This way. They ran together. Inside the jail it was dark and quiet. Chains clinked softly from the far cell. A girl sat on the floor, younger than Wren, hair long and tangled, shackled at the ankles and wrists. Bo Creel rushed to the bars. Get the key, Bo shouted. Wren grabbed a ring from the wall peg. She unlocked the door. The girl looked up. This was Lita, Wren's sister. Bo knelt and started unlocking the cuffs. We have to go, Bo said. Lita stood up. Her voice was firm. Where is the marshal? Wren paused. He's still inside the main hall. Lita looked at her sister. I'm not leaving without him. Bo shook his head. There's no time. Lita stepped forward, chains still dragging behind her. This place took our names, Lita said. I'm taking one back. Wren handed her a blade. The sun sat low over the desert. Heat shimmered above the sand. The trail stretched wide, but empty. Wind carried dust across the horse tracks behind them. Wren rode ahead. Bo Creel followed a few paces back. Neither spoke. The fire from the outpost still burned in Bo's mind. Smoke seemed to chase him, even in open land. Bo Creel held the reins loose. His eyes stayed on the ground. Every hoofbeat sounded heavier than the last. Wren pulled her horse to a stop beneath a lone tree. Dry roots reached across the earth like fingers. The leaves barely moved. She climbed down, quiet, calm. A small pouch rested in her hand. Bo dismounted and walked to her side. Wren knelt near the tree. From her pouch she pulled the folded war photo, the one Bo had hidden, the one with his brother's smile. Wren didn't look at Bo. She placed the photo on the ground. She added the faded letter from Matthew, the proof of what had been done. Bo. Creel opened his mouth, then closed it. Wren picked up a flat stone. She pressed it over the paper. Bo bent down and helped push dirt over the corner. They buried the war. Wren stood. The wind blew through her braid. Bo reached into his coat. His fingers touched the spot where the photo had lived. Empty now. Wren stepped closer. She held something in her hand, the carved bone pendant. The spiral glowed faintly in the light. Wren placed it in Bo's palm. It's yours now, Wren said. Bo stared at it. He didn't close his hand. Not yet. The pendant felt cold, heavier than before. Wren mounted her horse. Bo climbed back on his. They didn't speak for miles. The land looked the same as before, but Bo saw it different now. Every shadow felt older. Every breeze carried memory. Bo had chosen Wren once, nor thought he did. Now Bo followed. Near a bend in the road, Wren slowed her horse. She turned her head. Her voice was clear. I freed myself long before you pointed, Wren said. Dust rolled down Main Street again. Same wind, same sun. But something was different now. Creel rode slowly. His coat was torn, his eyes darker. Beside him, not behind, walked Wren. No chains, no fear. Her steps were even, her chin held high. The town came into view. Wooden porches, swaying signs, same cracked window on the store, same crooked bell above the saloon. But the stairs were quieter this time. A boy dropped his apple in the dirt. An old man took off his hat. Wren kept walking. At the sheriff's post, the door stood, open. The marshal sat at his desk, scribbling something on a yellow sheet. He looked up. Bo didn't speak. Not yet. Wren stepped forward. She reached into her bag. Her hand came out holding the iron shackles, the same ones from the auction block. She dropped them on the marshal's desk. The metal hit hard. Clang, the room froze. The sound echoed through the doorway. The marshal looked at Wren, then at Bo. His smile never formed. Bo stepped beside her. "We don't trade women," Creel said. The marshal said nothing. Wren turned. She didn't wait for permission. She walked out the door. Bo followed. On the town's bulletin wall, a new flyer hung where the old one had been. No bright red ink. No bold offer. Just 4 plain words. No brides today, cancelled. A group of townsfolk stood near the well. They didn't speak. They didn't move. Wren passed them without pause. Bo looked at their faces. No smiles, no anger, just silence. Quiet kind of wait. Back in Chapter 1, the town had watched Wren like property. Now they watched her like a storm had passed. They didn't cheer, but they didn't stop her either. The valley was wide and dry, tucked beneath low hills and pale sky. Wind moved through the brush like slow breath. No fences, no shouts, just space. Wren and Later worked together, hands in the dirt. They lifted wooden beams, smoothed clay walls. A new shelter took shape where nothing had stood before. Later laughed, once short and tired. Wren smiled. No chains, no guards, no signs telling them what they were worth. They chose this place. They built it on their own. Creel watched from the ridge. His horse stood ready behind him, saddle packed, rifle tied. Bo didn't walk down, didn't wave. He just watched. This wasn't his land. Bo turned and mounted up. The sun behind him cast a long shadow forward. But Bo felt lighter now, like something had been pulled out and left behind. The trail curled through rock and brush. Bo didn't rush. Every hoofbeat echoed. The wind carried no voices, no gunfire, only memory. In his coat pocket, Bo reached for something. His fingers closed around the carved bone pendant. The spiral still smooth, still cold. Bo pulled it out and stared at it. The shape caught the light. Wren had given it to him, not as a gift, not as a curse, as a mark, a reminder. Bo closed his hand around it. He didn't speak her name out loud, but the land did. Wren, Wren, Wren. The sound was in the wind, in the hoofsteps, in the way the trail bent. Bo rode on, no flag waving, no crowd waiting, just dust behind him and open sky ahead. Would you call it justice or just a return?